Hello one, hello all. It is the most hype ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh. And it's time for a review of model Actriz-Dogsbody. You're probably wondering why I'm hype, why I'm ready, and I just spit, but it's okay because we're doing this raw. But yeah, this album, Dogsbody. It's quite the ride. It's quite the ride. I have been jamming to this, and I cannot get enough of it. It's like a drug. Music is a great drug. Music is a hell of a drug. And this thing feels like the most bizarre, most... How could I put this? Harrowing trip I've ever been on. And I don't do drugs. Well, back then I did some, but we're not going to talk about that. That's in the past, and this is now. And now we're checking out Model Actriz, and they are a band from Brooklyn, New York, and this is their debut album, and it's just a dark, energetic, with some electronics in there, groovy production, and I feel it has the minimalism and disturbance of the band Suicide, the eccentricities vocally of like a David Byrne from Talking Heads, and the haunting, quivering vocals of Jamie Stewart from Shoo Shoo, and the deranged theatrics of Isaac from Black Country New Road. And the grooves are like so nightmarish. It kind of reminds me of Nine Inch Nails a little bit. And I suppose if you want, you could throw the new wave category in here, because this is like post-punk, industrial, and let's throw new wave on there, because there is a song on here that kind of captures a groove of Swan's Filth, except less grimy, but still captures like the harrowing nature and performance, like on the track Pure Mode, with this heavy lumbering groove with these eerie synth keys just searing on the track. And I feel like there's a lot going on here. It definitely creates a scene. It's like the feeling of like this fever dream nightclub and having just these manic episodes. And some would call this music anxiety-inducing. And you're right, it can be, and it probably is. But I love that. I love music that makes me feel something. And this album definitely makes me feel like I am going through this dream of absurdity, and it's just an emotional ride, and music is supposed to give you emotion, and that's what this thing does. Like, it's just a strong sense of emotions. Like, Dogsbody is definitely a well-structured cybernetic weapon of an album. And it doesn't sound too calculated, it doesn't sound like it's focus grouped or anything. It feels like the textures and the grooves just aim, and they're so precise on this. With, again, not sounding too clean, not sounding too focus group. This isn't a fucking Chainsmokers album. Thank God. And for the most part, they have a very consistent style when it comes to the production. I would say for the most part, the production is consistent, but yet it's like the patterns are similar in a way, but the sonic differentiation is definitely there. And the hooks, oh my god, the hooks are just so engaging and catchy and powerful. With the body count higher than a mosquito. You don't. And I will say, like, the cool down moments do create a bit of a lull. The distraught, unnerving vocals, though, and the unhinged feeling and the abrasiveness of the vocals are definitely there. Like, there's a lot of theatrics going on with the vocals, and it just reads as this unapologetic desperation bordering on erotic obsession. That's pretty much the tone I'm getting here. The lyrics are like poetically dark, confessional, as I said, erotic. And also very murderous at times, Roblox, if you want to say. The synths and drums are just so pounding. They have like an echo to them. And even though this album is freakish, very harsh, and could be frightening to some people, there's something alluring about the sound to this. Something sexy, like I said, like it's like a nightclub. And there are certain grooves on here that definitely remind me of like Topical Dancer, like the way the rhythms kind of just chirp and twitter like on this thing and creates like this pulsating bass, kind of like on Topical Dancer's album, as I alluded to. And yeah, so on here, like, you're getting noise rock, post-punk, industrial, and if you've been watching the channel for a long time, that is my bag. I love post-punk. I love noise rock. Those are my jams. I love industrial music. I love new wave. And this album executes that perfectly, and it's insane. Track highlights on here, I would say, are like Donkey Show. Donkey Show has like these very odd synths, and it sounds like a hovering spacecraft, like flying through the air and like reappearing and disappearing. And the synths have like this pulse. It feels like a droning ring, if you will. And when the drums come in, they just have this crushing, marching groove to them. It's like an army of cyborgs coming into town, and they are just hunting. And the vocals have like such an eccentricity to them and an oddity with a flair to them. It's like the villain just did something completely dastardly, and he's just flailing around while the destruction's going on that he created. And though this is not really that type of song, it is about a sexual thrill, but still there's a futuristic, sinister tone to the vocals that I can't get enough of. The song Mosquito, as I alluded to earlier, has like this sonic avalanche of crushing grooves. It's just like coming down on top of you, and the revving bass line and the groove just like pumping on this track. It's like the drums have like a ticking quality to them, but they don't exactly tick, but it's the rhythm of like a clock. It's absolutely insane. And the dissonant keys just have this psychotic, tense feeling, and the shots of like sharp, bubbling keys on this kind of reminds me of like a cyber version of Prince from 1999. Or even Purple Rain for that matter, with these like just... I'm trying to, like, ching, ching, ching. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Purple Rain. I've listened to a lot of Prince, but it's getting late, and my mind is going all over the place. Should probably drink some tea after this. But I digress. And the hyper-inhaling vocals and the primal echoing drums at the end just create, like, the perfect finish. The song Crossing Guard has these squealing guitar noises and this odd groove. Like, it feels like the melody has like a stillness and the groove is like so linear. It's like I'm stuck in the middle of like dark space. Like I'm just stuck there. And this light, this being is just approaching me, and the stuttering keys just add like more feel to it. Like, if I had to draw a comparison, it's like I'm Still, but the groove is like just keeps approaching, keeps approaching, keeps approaching. And all I'm doing is just stillness with the heartbeat. It's insane. It's like literal musical paralysis, and it's fire. The song excellently segues into the next song, Slate, which has like this throbbing bass, this shrill no-wave guitar arpeggios. The whole thing feels like a disco nightmare in like the best way possible. The song Divers is pretty much like a cool down moment. It doesn't really add much. Like you think there's going to be something like when the drums start like thumping, but then it's like, you didn't really take me anywhere, did you? And the song Amaranth has these alien-like distorted guitar shreds with these twinkling keys, and the breakdowns just have this theatrical vocalizing from Cole. And the pounding bass and screeching guitar like bursts in, and it's like being in like the middle of a climax of like a Twilight Zone episode, like the old black and white Twilight Zone episode. And you do get breathing room. You do get breathing room where Cole is just theatrically singing to you, singing away. And then that's only to be trapped once again and just engulfed and crushed with an onslaught of like harsh instrumentations just coming on top of you. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. And the song Pure Mode, like Cole delivers these blood-curdling shredded vocals that are just add more vocal variation, and it's just fantastic. Maria has like this droning, distorted bass line and really disturbing lyrics. Like he is going into psycho killer territory here. Like the blade against his neck and the pounding of the drums, the harsh, shimmering arpeggios here, like it just creates the horror. Like I feel like this track like makes me feel like I'm the equivalent of Danny in The Shining, and I'm just watching Jack is it Jack or Johnny? You know what I'm talking about. Just carrying out these horrendous, grisly murders, and I'm just like trapped right there, just visualizing it. And it's insane. It's insane. This album is insane. And then you get Sleepless, which is another track that pretty much overstays its welcome, unfortunately. But then you get Sun In with these somber acoustic guitar lines with these chimey keys and just clanging gently. And it certainly gives like a post-rock feel. And honestly, it's gorgeous. It's a great way to end the album. And lyrically, you get a understanding like the sun, bright with the sun in my eyes. Like it basically draws the conclusion to the album. Like you have awoken up from this erotic nightmare, fever dream, or what have you. And this is just a closer. And it fits because of how nocturnal this album has felt the whole ride. And honestly, this is a nightmare that I would love to return to. And I know that sounds insane and bad, but it's true. This is a sexy nightmare. This is a sexy post-punk nightmare that I would love to return to again and again. And it kicks ass. It kicks ass. Vocals are fire. Instrumentation's insane. The ride is incredible. I'm loving this. I am feeling a 4 out of 5 Black Hearts on this album. 4 out of 5. What did you think of this, though? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And why? Let me know in the comments. Caspa, Gothic Ghost. Model Actress. Dogsbody. Till we meet again.